Okay, so we have the video up here, but we're just gonna go over here and we'll make it large for easier viewing capabilities. But we're just gonna read through this stuff first. Please watch our video workshop of Zephyr or read on to learn. It says please watch the video, which is fair. Seeing is better than reading in most cases. So we are gonna read first though. Tailwind, remove the hold to charge mechanic from the beginning. Instead, make it so you can hold the ability at any time while in the air. It will toggle into hover mode that holds you in flight while draining energy every second. Hovering will now also allow you to move around instead of being fixed in place. Okay, so you can just go into flight mode. That's good. We think the hold mechanic doesn't work because standing still in Warframe is so dangerous in higher level content, and the time spent holding is time lost shooting. Yeah, that's correct. You fucking nailed it. Increase the damage of dive bomb from 500 to 4,500 base damage at max rank to better reward the time and skill it takes to effectively use it. VTOL mode, not flight, but close enough. Yeah. Airburst, change from radial explosion that knocks enemies outward into a short duration vortex like we did for Gauss's Mach Crash Augment, so the pull is more reliable. Leaning on the pull mechanic as it synergizes great with tornadoes since you can pull enemies into them. Good. No changes on turbulence, makes perfect sense. It's already a good ability. Tornado, reduce the number of tornadoes to 3 to prevent enemies from getting too scattered, and increase the pull of tornadoes so enemies stay inside them more. The radius that tornadoes will grab enemies was increased to include by default with synergy with airburst. You no longer need to use airburst on your tornadoes to increase its pull radius. Finally, when you make stationary tornadoes, they will appear where you are aiming instead of on top of random nearby enemies. Roaming tornadoes still spawn on top of enemies. Literally perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Yes. Absolutely. Tornado feedback was composed of 2 main points. Tornadoes tend to overly spread enemies around. The pull of tornadoes is pretty tame, so sometimes it pulls enemies in and just tosses them out the other end. If you shoot an enemy in the tornado, will often just kick them out of the tornado. Passive. Aerial mobility bonus stays the same. Now she'll also have a bonus of 150% to her critical hit chance while airborne, which would be a point strike. This is probably not added. This is probably not additive. It's probably a multiplicative bonus that adds with point strike. So I don't suspect all crits all the time in air from Zephyr, but this is still like a fine little thing to add. Then cleaned up Zephyr's ability FX for all 4 abilities and added FX burst to the end of turbulence. Does not affect functionality. Okay, sure, that seems fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, hey, these are the words on the screen that I wanted to see. Let's see how it actually works. I might have to turn this down a bit. You guys are gonna have to tell me this is too loud. We're gonna shut the music off for watching this purpose.
Do a quick little tour of the Zephyr rework.
Let me know if it's too quiet.
Soon TM. Look at her counting us down. Let's go. So for her one, we got a few changes. The dive bomb is a little more forgiving, so I can aim there and it's still dive bombs. You try it right now on live. It's like a tiny little circle below her, so it's a little more forgiving of that. We also increased the damage considerably. It's maybe like 10 times the damage that it's on live, so it's good all the way up to like maybe killing level 50, something like that. You can also do builds. I was doing a build with the augment for her one, and I was like one-shotting level 150 heavy gunners hits, which is more like a fun build.
These guys,
but,
I mean, this is just Lua. They're like level 30 or 40, I think, unless
the other thing that changed with her one is now you can press and hold. You can hold one.
Look at one of these enemies, Pablo.
And it'll go.
They're level 25.
Into this hover mode, where you can start delivering that from above. And this synergizes really well with her
this VTOL mode is kind of cool.
Added passive. You still have her old passive, but this is
I mean,
on top
you use
of that,
this with like
an
AoE gun,
extra
like you get death from above, sure.
So it's really effective to murder some fools. Also synergizes great with things like Aviator, for example. It's just so nice to set up the dive bomb. So
you can just always be flying.
You got like all the time in the world to get like the exact angle that you want. So for her 2, we changed how the pull works. As you can see, it's much more effective.
Oh, that is
it basically
that made a ball. That's what I want.
If you have tried that, so it's like a little mini vortex that just lasts a little bit of time, but it is really good to like gather enemies as opposed to what you used to have, which was just like pushing them in a direction. So if you're in love of pulling enemies, you're in luck. Let's do another one here. As you can
that's
see,
good. That's nice.
Good at just gathering them up for you to then exterminate. Her tree didn't change. As you can see, I've been using it. It's the same old tree. The effects for all the abilities changed a little bit. We get a little bit of extra polish in there.
Yeah, I like the new look for turbulence.
For her 4th, we have a few things. You can do a whole version. The whole version will actually stay stationary in place.
Oh, these look way more badass. Look how cool these fucking
right
tornadoes look.
And then, for example, let's take a look at that guy. You can see how far he gets pulled now. The pull was increased maybe like
it looks like it looks like whenever there's the three tornadoes, it kind of holds him in the center.
Before to make them this big, you had to use your 2 to make them grow. Now they just start grown. They start fully grown. No need to do the 2. So extra range and bigger size from the get-go.
Okay.
We also added a quality of life thing. You can see, for example, here when they go up, as soon as he dies, he gets dropped from the tornado. So in the current version, you could get very easily confused. You wouldn't know, like, is that a ragdoll? Is that an enemy? Because they're just floating in tornado.
Okay.
Now they get dropped once they're dead, so you don't get confused about when to stop shooting at them, basically.
Also, yeah, the jacket like puffing up in the back is really weird. It should just lay down. I'm into the jacket,
range.
but I wish it would lay down.
Let's see how close that enemy gets. You see how he got pulled all the way from there. So yeah, the range is considerably increased for the.
I really want to know what the stats are on this build. If this is base stats, seems really good.
Let me do a quick recap. The angle for the dive bomb was increased a little bit. The damage for the dive bomb is like 10 times as it used to be. You can now press 1 to hover in the air and attack from there. Her passive got an additional part that is extra crit chance while you're in air. For her 2, it pulls enemies in much better, as you saw. For her 3, unchanged. Her 4th, we got a hold mode, which keeps the tornadoes in an area so you can sort of defend that area. The pull range got increased almost 3 times as much. All of the tornadoes start large instead of you having to use your 2 first to make them large. Enemies that are in the tornado, once they die, they get dropped, so you don't get confused as to who's alive and who's not. And that's about it. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you'll have a lot of fun when she comes down soon, TM. And I'll see you next time. Adios.
All right, that looks cool. All right, that seems like a good thing for us to have in our lives. Yeah, I mean, that seems like these good changes that they did it. They made it so that Zephyr's 2 is a good ability, and it seems like Zephyr's 4 may in fact also be a good ability. Holy shit. Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this Zephyr skin. I mean, I'll try and make it work, but I might just like how my Zephyr looks as it stands anyway. Maybe everything looks fun. Yeah, I mean, being able to being able to just like hover around and stuff, like, I mean, that's de facto good with like just being like, I'm gonna hover up here and just fire Ogress shots into my tornadoes. Like, that just sounds good. But yeah, that seems super solid. Also, the visual effects look really good. So huge bonus there. It's just gonna feel better because it just looks so much better. I love how normalized it is to update frames. Oh, it's great to update the frames. This seems like exactly the thing that Zephyr needed to do. So now let's break down like what Zephyr's gonna have if these changes are as good as they look like they are. She's gonna be super fast. She's gonna be able to hover and like position really well, which is like a minor bonus, but being super fast with Tailwind matters. Airburst is gonna be able to group enemies really easily, it looks like, and that's a spammable ability. So it's going to be really easy to zoop up enemies, and Airburst has a pretty considerable range, so that's good. Turbulence is a really solid defensive ability, so that's nice. And then the tornadoes are going to be able to zoop all the enemies together more reliably, and you're going to be able to just put them wherever you want them, which was very much needed. And then you'll get the benefit of being able to shoot at the tornado to deal the damage to everyone in the tornado. So it should work out that shooting into your tornadoes is giving you like a huge increase to damage as long as you're using any kind of an AoE weapon. So that seems super powerful. And then the extra bonus on her passive is just going to make it better for her to be shooting into her tornadoes, which makes sense as a small synergy. Yeah, that just seems good. Yeah, crit synergy with AoE weapons. Yeah, exactly. That seems super solid. Yeah, okay. Can I get this today? Can I get this one today? I want to mess with this. I don't know how good this is going to be in Railjack, but for other missions, it seems like very much a thing. Yeah. Also, for anyone who anyone who missed it, they added the March 9th FAQ, which is a follow up on some stuff that was in the Railjack overview, which is that the tier 1 through 3 stuff is being made way more clear. All you need now for tier 3 is a full avionic grid maxed out, and then 6 wreckage built, which is all slots have something that you've made in them. So that stuff is really good. Full avionic grid is like this is just super clear what you need to do in order to get to tier 3. So that's great. And then other stuff, Lavos and Hildren, we know we're working. There's some like weird comments in here about how the Warframe energy economy is going to work instead of Flux. That maybe hint towards people complaining. I think personally that this will generally make the Railjack energy economy better, but this seems like a mixed bag of reaction here. So it's kind of a weird one. We don't know how that's going to actually turn out in the end. And then Necromex in all missions is apparently coming later, but there were just problems with it, so it's good that they cleared that up as well. I still don't think that this should be on the Intrinsics track, but it's good that they cleared up that eventually we'll have the Necromex in all missions, but for now it's just going to be in the Railjack. And then crew affinity competencies, this stuff was made more clear and changed as well. Crewmates will gain affinity like you're used to, which can be spent on increased aptitude in certain roles as competency points. So this is in the current workshop, how it says it works, but it's being changed to on launch. Competency points will be earned through intrinsic ranks. You get 1 at rank 2, 4, 5, and 6, and then in later updates will include affinity gain for crew members, but for initial implementation, intrinsic ranks will be the way to earn competency points. So that tells me you get whatever the crew starts with, and then 4 points at least until they maybe change it later so that crew members can get more points, which means you're not going to be able to have a crew that are all maxed out in all ways, which is... well, I mean, we'll see how it like actually works whenever it launches. It might not matter too much what kind of competency ranks are on these different crew members, but you're only going to have 4 points to put in now, it seems like. Then we have double confirmation. We already knew this. The Orphix Venom vendor is not coming back, and it's just going to be stuff in the reward tables for the Orphix mission type. There will not be points and the vendor going around. But yeah, that's what's going on here with some minor updates to that as well. Yeah, seems good. The Zephyr stuff looks really nice, so looking forward to messing with Zephyr, especially after this like little look at what she's going to be doing whenever her changes come in. Then we'll see if the skin looks good whenever it comes out. Didn't show super well in this video, though, I would say overall. Nothing about the shit Gunnery 10 skill. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't know anything about maybe Gunnery 10 changing, but we can hope. So there's that. All right, though. But yeah, Zephyr looks cool. That seems good. Anyway, back to Neo things.